What is up, everyone? So I just realized it's been 5 years since we built this house, and for anyone that missed the video, I did a video walkthrough when we completed it that got quite a few views, and with that, there was a lot of comments on there, actually a lot recently, asking for a follow-up on the house. And for those that haven't seen it, we built this house, we owner built, so we were the contractors, built it from a kit, and a lot of people have been wondering how it's holding up, you know, if there's anything that we would change on it, and our overall thoughts after living in it for a while. So this is going to be that video. Now, aside from just getting a lot of comments asking how the house has been, I also had a lot of comments that said I missed the garage, because I guess during that video I didn't do a garage tour. So I'm gonna give you the quick little tour of the garage. Pretty run-of-the-mill. It's a 3-car garage. Technically the single car bay is a little shallower, so we normally just use that to park whatever off-road vehicle we have. Currently we have a quad. A lot of times we had a side-by-side and all that. We did these glass garage doors. Those did not come with the kit. Those were extra. I forget where we got those, somewhere online. But then in here, we just kind of have like excess storage stuff from the house. We have an extra refrigerator, which we had in our old house that we brought here, that does not fit in our current kitchen. Then we got yard tools and all that. And then the battery backup for the house. Now, some of you guys may have seen the video I did with Anchor that was about the install of one of the Solix F3800s, but since then I have now upgraded to having 2 of the F3800s as well as 2 expansion batteries. So that puts me up to a little over 14 kilowatts of storage, and each one of the Anchors can put out 6,000 watts. So it's enough to run the whole house, and we recently did have a lightning strike nearby and cut the power. Okay, we just had one of the gnarliest lightning storms come through. It's beautiful now, but I watched lightning hit the power pole at the bottom of the property when I was out looking for our dog that ran away, who finally came back. But there's no power, but the Anchors are powering the whole house right now. Never skipped a beat. I actually didn't even know the power was out until all the neighbors were texting me. So currently, with everything on, looks like we got about 17 hours left on these batteries. And for those that missed how this whole system works, basically the Solix F3800 is a portable power station, but if you get their home power panel, basically power couples to the grid. So it uses grid power to charge the Anchors and any expansion batteries you have. And then if it senses an outage on the grid, it automatically backs up the power to whatever circuits you put in your backup power panel. So it's super handy for power outages. They also have a bunch of other features where you can, like, you know, tell it when to draw the battery down and when to buy energy if you got like time of use charges from your electric company. And they also now accept solar. So that was the project I just did this week. I added 12 solar panels to the roof of my garage. Each one of the Solixes can take up to 2,400 watts of solar in. I'm not making full power because they're flat mounted on the roof. And I should give a fair disclaimer that technically their rigid solar panels are designed to be mounted on the ground, not on the roof. So if you decide to do what I did, make sure you check your local regulations and probably hire a licensed electrician if you do that. But overall, very cool setup, very smart. They have an app that controls everything. It's probably the simplest and probably the most affordable way you can do anything like this with like home power backup. But on top of that, they're actually really handy just for like rare use cases where you need power somewhere, just because they are on wheels. You can just roll them out. The other day we were working in front of the hangar. A friend of mine brought his chop saw over, and I don't know why that thing draws so much power. It was popping our 20 amp breakers on all my plugs. So I just brought down one of the Solixes and was able to plug it in and power tools better than my wall outlets did. So anyway, like I said, very cool setup for power backups for your whole home, and with the addition of solar like I have now, it would even prolong the amount of time I could handle a power outage, because if the sun's up, it's gonna pass through all that power into the house while charging the batteries. So in theory, as long as you're kind of smart about how you manage your power, probably run this thing like indefinitely. It's just I wouldn't have all the circuits I normally have. So anyway, that is the update on the Anchors. Thank you again, Anchor, for sponsoring this video. Oh, and I should show off too my little car washing setup. So basically I got a hose reel that goes over to a hose bib that's on the house. That's got hot and cold water, so I can wash with hot water. That's also ran through our filtration system, so it's softened, which is nice. And then it goes into here. We can go through the deionizer for a spot-free rinse. That's the pressure washer, and with like a 70-foot hose, and that's just a wall-mounted shop vac. Anyway, let's get into the house. Okay. What's up, babe?
Hey.
So we are doing the update video on the house. I want to start with the broad stroke stuff, which is what I would click on this video for, which is like what didn't we love about the kit and what would we change? So we really haven't had too many problems. We've had a couple fixtures. We've had to replace the door handles for the outside doors, only the exteriors.
And we've had to replace bathroom vanity lights. The vanity lights were going out, so they burnt out pretty quickly.
And the outdoor lights.
Oh, and all the sconce lights started after 5 years. It's been 5 years, so they burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because those lights, I don't know if it was the lights or the bulbs that we put in them, because the lights said that they were damp rated, and so did the light bulbs, but where we have those up and down sconce lights mounted, they're in full wet areas. So yeah, I don't know if they just weren't the right fixtures or weren't the right bulbs, but those are the only things I can really think of that we've had problems with.
Well, yeah, because we chose pretty hardy stuff for our environment, right? So our back deck, I was actually impressed with the settling of the house. Once it actually settled, we didn't have any cracks, which is a really good sign. We do have some protrusion of bolts. What would you say? Those are kind of settling, but that's just having smooth walls.
Oh, so, yes, I know it. So basically, these big walls, we have, zero obstructions from wind. So it's not uncommon for us to have 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds pushing on this big wall, and it moves a little bit. And with our wall texture being just smooth wall, there's a couple places, like maybe right here, you might be able to see this, that one of the drywall screws kind of is like just popping a little bit. But that's not anything to do with the kit, really.
No, the kit was straightforward. That's exactly what we paid for. Yeah. Right? Everything else was probably something you'd run into with a new build anyways, so.
Yeah. And that really is a big thing we should mention, that, this was essentially a stick-built home. The only thing was it came with pre-framed walls. Now, that said, when we did this 5 years ago, Zip Kit homes had much different floor plans than what they have now, and it seems as though they've leaned more into doing like modular stuff and larger like kind of development things. So I don't even think they have this kit available anymore. And I don't know if they work with like owner builders, because we might have just drove them nuts. That said, our experience with them was good. Yeah. Like everything, again, we didn't know what we didn't know. We were probably super annoying to them because I was calling way more than I should have been. But they helped us through it in a way that probably most other kit home manufacturers wouldn't. Yeah, so anyway, things that we've changed in the house.
We added the ceiling.
Haley did add these ceiling wood panels, which looks cool, and they do cut down on the echo in here. You did your wall. Haley did this like plaster concrete looking wall that's kind of cool. Yeah. And you've obviously redecorated. She continues to buy new furniture all the time.
And then we actually, since we did the last post, we moved your studio.
And then this used to be a guest bedroom. We've now turned it into the office, little editing bay studio. So this is where all the YouTube edits happen. Haley does her work right there. There are a few things that I wish we would have changed prior to building this, and this is just now we know what we know. We designed absolutely zero storage, or there was no storage space really included in this kit.
Yes.
So that's been tricky.
Storage, yeah.
The other thing is zero mechanical space. So I mentioned that we're on a well and we've got a water filtration system. Basically, all the mechanicals for that had to go into our crawl space because we didn't have enough room in the tiny mechanical closet that we have. And we have a Mitsubishi Electric. It's one of their heat pump systems, but it goes through a forced air handler. So we do have ducts going through the house for heating and cooling. That unit barely fit in that closet. So it was one of those things that, like, after we built everything and started, installing all the mechanical stuff, we're like, dang, I wish we had more space.
Something we should have planned ahead. I mean, this entrance was a big pantry. So when we originally got the kit, I wanted a formal entryway. So we ended up cutting that out, which you'll see in previous videos. But we can show them the space. And it's kind of building to your means. I mean, in the sense of your environment. We've gone through several pumps for, what were the pumps that we were struggling with?
The boost pumps for the house, the water pumps.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's also my cleaning closet, not the prettiest one, but it's tiny, barely fits. We made it work though.
We literally couldn't put the guides on this door because it hits here. So even to like move this way, it sticks out from the bottom. So that's one of the things. We just don't have a lot of room there. This is now the guest bedroom, used to be the office.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't turn all the lights on to make it look good.
You really weren't prepared for this, were you? When I just walked in and shoved the camera in your face.
But I didn't realize we had to showcase.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should give you guys an update on the landscaping. We did this back in 2020, wasn't it?
2021. It's only been a couple of years.
Has it?
It's our second year, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the landscaping. There's Maverick. He's got a hurt leg. You gotta cool it, bud. Yeah, the whole setup up here has been working well. We have a ton of koi fish, like way too many. They had babies they weren't supposed to be able to, and now we just have, instead of 10 that we have like 80. So if anyone's looking for koi fish, call Haley, she'll sell you some. And then these were the lights, those up-down sconce lights. Those were the ones that we had to replace recently because the other ones were going out.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't know if it was, we just get really harsh winters up here. I mean, and we get really hot summers. So, I mean, it just could be the environment, but little things that was kind of disappointing. I mean, 5 years in and we had to spend several $1,000s in lighting. So it's not fun.
We have had some little weird issues with like the stucco cracking, but again, the stucco wasn't included in the kit. That was just the guys we hired for stucco. The metal siding, all the corrugated that looks rust, it was the pre-rust look corrugated. That stuff's been holding up great. That was some pretty expensive siding actually. All the other pieces have been good. Like the soffit, the roof hasn't leaked. Not that we would really know because our roof system, the way that this plan is designed, or the house is designed, there isn't enough room to fit standard insulation and make the R value that we needed. So we were forced into going with spray foam for our roof, which is better. But it's an unvented roof assembly and the spray foam sprayed right on the actual roof sheeting. Yeah. So even if the roof itself was to leak, like through the metal roofing, we probably would never know. So
I got another animal.
You got a ton of animals.
Ryan.
Gosh, that was a barn cat. She said she was bringing home as a hanger cat, which is clearly not in the hanger. And the kitchen, you haven't changed anything aside from just redecorating. Just buying.
No, this was all here. I just bought these stools.
Yeah, I saw.
Just
new stools.
Slowly adapting. But another thing that happened, which I don't know necessarily if it was the kids' fault, even though we got the cabinets from the kit, so I guess was our cabinets. Our cabinets are lacquer and they're cracking and chipping. So
little paint chips. That's right.
Yeah, but chips is normal because you bust into them, but they're cracking. So I don't know if it's the application, if it had too much lacquer or however it's made. But eventually, unfortunately, Trent doesn't want to hear this, but we'll have to redo all the cabinets. In the house, actually, not just the kitchen.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little project for you, Haley.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Great.
It sounds expensive.
The Trex decking's been holding up fine. I don't know why. I mean, that's just standard Trex. So anyone that's
We
had
bought
that-
it for the durability.
Yeah. All our windows and doors are Anderson 100 series, which is, again, a decent level window. It's not like super high end, but they are the like fiber ones that you can get in the dark colors, and they're all low E and double pane and all that. This is our backyard landscaping. Just give you an idea. I know the first video we didn't have any landscaping done, so this is Haley's little zone.
Yes, I'm always in the yard.
Oh, chicken coop.
Yeah.
It hasn't blown over yet. Chickens are still alive, so that is a good sign. That did not come with the kit.
No, it did not come with the kit. That was a COVID purchase.
Yep.
The eggs were. But yeah, I mean, you can show them like from the house, the hanger's just right there.
The hanger is right there.
Real close.
Yep.
I didn't want the hanger to be far away.
You didn't?
No. Because then all the guys hang out in the hangar and the women and children are stuck inside.
Oh. I literally thought I was like making it hard on you by having it that close. I love it.
No, I wanted it close.
The county requires at least a 30-foot separation for it to be considered separate structure, so we didn't have to deal with fire sprinklers and all that. So we put it like 31 feet away. It was all.
Yeah, I mean, because it's perfect. I mean, it's part of the house.
Yeah.
You're always in there, so if I ever want to hunt you down, I don't have to go very far.
So that kind of covers most of it. I think, are you happy with what, I'm still super happy with this house.
That's like kind of the end of the video in the sense of we're both super happy.
Yeah, we're still.
Little maintenance things but aside from the structure and the materials, they were a great company and they went through everything with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, and I did get a lot of flack in my last video for saying, we built this ourselves with no contractor, which we did. I guess I should have clarified that we were the general contractor, so we hired subs to help us. I was still here and you were here most days. That said, I guess some people think if I didn't hammer every single nail in, then I didn't build the house. I'm like, well, I built the house in the sense that a contractor did, or we did, owner built, and it was a cool way of doing it. It was a struggle. It wasn't something that we originally wanted to do. It was kind of driven by just the situation we got ourselves in by buying a property and assuming we could just build out here easily and cheap.
Correct.
And it wasn't so easy or cheap. So I hope that answered all the questions you guys had. And I'll get back to the flying videos. I know this was probably interrupting a flying video, so back to the flying videos on the next one. So you guys know the drill. Like this video if you do, subscribe if you haven't. Come be my wingman. See you on the next one. Peace.
I'm seeing you operate. I'm seeing you seeing me too. And I like all the ways you shake, and I can relate to the ways you move. So come on into my habitat, or we can meet up in